Welcome back to our channel, World of Coins. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Abraham Lincoln penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them because it could make you a millionaire overnight. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're taking a closer look at the United States 1-cent coin from 1971. You might think this little penny isn't worth much, but stick around, because we're about to reveal how one of these coins could make you a very happy collector. Let's start with a bit of history. The 1971 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln penny, was minted during a pivotal time in U.S. history. It came out at the tail end of the 1960s, a decade marked by major social and political changes. The coin itself is a simple but iconic representation of American currency. The obverse features President Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of unity and freedom, while the reverse shows the famous Lincoln Memorial, an enduring symbol of American history. Now, you might be wondering, what makes the 1971 penny so special? Well, the key here is rarity and condition. While most 1971 pennies are still out there in circulation, the ones that hold significant value are those in exceptional, uncirculated condition. The higher the grade of the coin, the more valuable it becomes. Collectors pay top dollar for coins that have been well preserved and haven't been damaged by time or wear. But wait, there's more. Some 1971 pennies have unique features that make them stand out even more. You may come across a coin with a minting error or slight design variation, such as a doubled die or an off-center strike. These types of rare errors can dramatically boost the value of the coin, making it an even more exciting find for collectors. Now, here's where it gets really exciting. A 1971 penny in mint condition, or one with a rare error, could be worth an astounding $97,000. That's right, a single penny could fetch this incredible amount at the right auction or to the right buyer. Imagine finding one of these hidden treasures in your collection or while hunting through change. It could be life-changing. If you have any old pennies lying around, now is the time to take a closer look. Make sure to check their condition, because you might just be holding on to a small fortune. Top 2, we're going to dive into a coin that could change the way you look at your spare change. It's the United States 1-cent coin from 1973, but with one special twist: it has the S mint mark, and that makes all the difference. Stick around, because this little penny could be worth a small fortune, so let's break it down. The 1973 S penny is like no other. The S mint mark stands for the San Francisco Mint, and that small letter makes this coin stand out from the rest. The San Francisco Mint is known for producing coins that are often rarer and more desirable to collectors, and the 1973 S penny is no exception. While most 1973 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, the San Francisco version is much harder to find, especially in top-notch condition. Now, here's where things get interesting. The regular 1973 penny, even in decent condition, isn't really worth much. However, the 1973 S penny, especially if it's uncirculated or in high-grade condition, can command some serious cash. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins from the San Francisco Mint, and if you happen to have one of these, you could be holding on to a real gem. But that's not all. There's a secret element that makes the 1973 S penny even more valuable: its rarity. Over the years, most of these pennies have been used in circulation, worn down, and damaged. Finding one that's in pristine condition is incredibly rare, and that's what really drives up the value. Some 1973 S pennies have even been known to have slight errors in the minting process, which makes them even more sought after by collectors. Now for the moment you've been waiting for: how much could a 1973 S penny be worth? Well, if you're lucky enough to own one of these in mint condition, or even better, one with a rare error, get ready to hear this: it could fetch up to $104,000. That's right, a single penny worth thousands of dollars, just because it has that special S mint mark. So, if you're out there hunting for rare coins or you've got some old pennies lying around, it's time to take a closer look. You might just have a small fortune sitting in your pocket. Top 3, we're going to talk about a seemingly ordinary coin, the 1982 United States 1 cent. But don't let its appearance fool you. This penny could be worth a lot more than you think, and it all comes down to a few surprising details. Stick around because you won't want to miss the incredible value we're about to reveal. Now, you might be asking, what makes the 1982 penny so special? On the surface, it might look like just another Lincoln cent, but here's where it gets interesting. 1982 was the year the U.S. Mint made a huge change to its pennies. For the first time, the mint transitioned from using mostly copper to a copper-plated zinc composition, which created two different types of 1982 pennies. Some were made from the old copper alloy, while others were made from the new zinc-based material. This is where the value comes into play. The 1982 copper pennies are much rarer than their zinc counterparts, and they're highly sought after by collectors. Because these copper pennies were only minted for a short time, they're hard to find in good condition. If you happen to have one of these rare copper versions, especially in uncirculated or near-perfect condition, you could be looking at a valuable collector's item. But there's another twist to this story. Some 1982 pennies have been known to have minting errors that make them even more valuable. Whether it's a double die, a misstrike, or an off-center print, these error pennies can fetch much higher prices than regular coins. And collectors absolutely love these kinds of unique finds. So, what's the big reveal? If you have a 1982 copper penny in pristine condition, or one with a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a coin worth up to $64,000. Yes, you heard that right, $64,000 for a single penny. It's amazing to think that something as small as a penny could have such enormous value, but it's the rarity and condition that make all the difference. If you've got any old pennies lying around, now is the time to check them out closely. You might just have a hidden treasure on your hands. Top 4. We're going to talk about a coin that might be sitting in your pocket right now, one that's been overlooked by many, but could actually be worth thousands of dollars. Yes, we're talking about the 1980 United States 1 cent coin. At first glance, this penny might seem like just another ordinary coin, but there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. Stick with us because we're about to dive into why the 1980 penny is a hidden gem for collectors. Let's start with the basics. The 1980 penny, just like most pennies from the 1980s, features the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the front, with the Lincoln Memorial displayed on the back. It was minted during a period of economic stability in the U.S. and is often seen as a modern coin compared to older, more rare pennies. But, as with many things in the world of coin collecting, it's not always the age of the coin that determines its value, it's all about the details, and that's where things get interesting with the 1980 penny. One of the key factors that make the 1980 penny so valuable is its rarity and condition. You see, coins that have been well preserved over the years, especially those that have never been circulated or used in daily transactions, are much more sought after by collectors. Pennies from 1980 are still relatively common, but if you can find one in pristine, uncirculated condition, that's where the real value lies. These coins have survived decades without being worn down by time or rough handling, making them stand out in the eyes of serious collectors. Now, here's where it gets even more exciting. Some 1980 pennies have been discovered to have minting errors or unique variations that can significantly boost their value. A small mistake in the manufacturing process, like a double die or an off-center strike, can make a coin worth far more than its face value. In fact, these error coins are highly prized by collectors because they're one-of-a-kind items. If you happen to find a 1980 penny with one of these rare minting errors, your coin just went from being a common penny to a potential goldmine. But you might be wondering, what could a 1980 penny really be worth? Well, here's the big reveal. If you have a 1980 penny in perfect, uncirculated condition or one with a rare minting error, it could be worth up to $67,000. That's right, $67,000 for a penny from 1980. It's amazing to think that a small coin like this could have such enormous value, but this is exactly what makes coin collecting so thrilling. A penny that most people would toss aside could actually be a treasure waiting to be discovered. If you're looking through your change or checking out old pennies you've stored away, make sure to pay close attention to the 1980s coins. You might just have a hidden fortune sitting right in front of you. So, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1980 penny, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more rare coin discoveries. We've got plenty more exciting content lined up, and you won't want to miss it. Top 5, this video is exactly what you've been waiting for. We're going to take a close look at a coin that you might not think twice about, a simple 1 cent from 1976. But believe it or not, this coin could be worth thousands, and we're about to reveal why. Stick with us, because this could change the way you look at pennies. Let's start by taking a step back and looking at the year 1976. It was a momentous year in the United States, as the country celebrated its bicentennial, marking 200 years of independence. To commemorate the occasion, the U.S. Mint produced special coins featuring a unique design. These were the bicentennial coins, and while most of them are relatively easy to find, the 1976 1-cent coin stands out as a bit of an enigma, especially when you factor in its potential value. Now, at first glance, the 1976 penny looks like any other Lincoln cent. It features the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and on the reverse, you'll find the traditional Lincoln Memorial. But what makes this penny different from the rest is the special mark of the bicentennial year. While the bicentennial quarter and half dollar received the most attention for their redesigned reverses, the penny remained largely unchanged in terms of its design. However, this was still a year of celebration and change, and that's where the rarity factor comes into play. You see, there's a specific version of the 1976 penny that is incredibly rare, the one made from the 95% copper composition, as opposed to the later zinc composition that began in 1982. In 1976, the U.S. Mint was still using copper for some pennies, and the coins from that period are highly coveted by collectors today. But the key to their value isn't just their composition, it's their condition. While most 1976 pennies you come across were used in daily circulation, coins that have remained in pristine, uncirculated condition are incredibly valuable. Collectors are on the lookout for these coins because they're so rare, and the demand for high-quality examples is high. If you happen to have one of these pennies that looks like it just came off the minting press, bright, shiny, and without any signs of wear, you're holding something that could fetch a pretty penny. But that's not all. Some 1976 pennies have been discovered with minting errors, things like off-center strikes, doubling of the design, or other small mistakes that make them stand out from the rest. These error coins are highly sought after by collectors, and if you find one, you might just have a unique piece of history on your hands. So, here's the big reveal. If you have a 1976 1-cent coin that's in perfect condition, or even better, if it has a rare minting error, it could be worth as much as $93,000. Yes, you heard that right, $93,000 for a single penny. It's incredible how something as small and seemingly insignificant as a 1976 penny can be worth so much money, but that's the beauty of coin collecting. A small mistake or a perfectly preserved coin can turn into a massive payday. If you've got any old pennies from the 1970s lying around, or if you've got a jar of change tucked away somewhere, now is the time to take a closer look. You might be holding on to a hidden treasure without even realizing it. Top 6, we're about to take a deep dive into a particular coin that might be hiding in your collection, a 1985 United States 1-cent coin. This penny may seem like just another piece of currency, but stick with us because we're going to uncover why it could be worth way more than you think. Let's start with some quick history. The 1985 penny, like many of its counterparts from the 1980s, features the classic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the front and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Nothing too out of the ordinary, right? But here's where things get interesting. The value of a coin isn't always about how old it is or how many were minted, it's all about rarity, condition, and sometimes, even a little bit of luck. And when it comes to the 1985 penny, there are a few key factors that make it stand out from the crowd. First, let's talk about composition. By 1985, the U.S. Mint had already started to shift its penny production to a copper-plated zinc material, which is what you'll typically find in most 1985 pennies. But here's the catch, some of these coins, especially those that were produced in the earlier part of the year, were still made from a higher percentage of copper. This makes them a bit rarer than the later zinc versions, and collectors love finding them. A small percentage of the 1985 pennies have that copper composition, and these are highly coveted among numismatists. Now, when it comes to coin collecting, condition is everything. A 1985 penny in worn, circulated condition is worth exactly 1 cent, but if you're lucky enough to find one in uncirculated condition, that's where things start to get exciting. Coins that have been well preserved over the years, with no signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration, are considered to be high-grade coins, and they can fetch a pretty impressive price on the market, but there's more to it. Some 1985 pennies have been discovered with minting errors, things like double strikes, off-center impressions, or die cracks. These errors are incredibly rare, and when they occur, they make the coin even more valuable. Collectors are always on the lookout for these unique variants because an error coin is essentially a one-of-a-kind piece of history. If you happen to find a 1985 penny with one of these minting flaws, you could be looking at a serious windfall. So, let's get to the part you've been waiting for. How much could a 1985 penny really be worth? Well, if you have a 1985 penny that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a coin that's worth an incredible $62,000. Yes, you heard that right, $62,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that a coin that was once worth just 1 cent could now have such a massive value, but that's the beauty of rare coins. The right penny, in the right condition, can be worth a small fortune. So, if you've got any old pennies sitting in a drawer or a jar, take a closer look at them. The 1985 penny could be hiding among them, waiting to make you a lot richer than you ever expected. Top 7, we've got a special treat for you. If you've ever thought that the coins sitting in your change jar are just a bunch of loose change, think again. Because today we're going to reveal the incredible story of the 1987 United States 1-cent coin, and how it could be worth far more than its face value. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this. The 1987 penny might seem like just another ordinary Lincoln cent when you first take a look at it, but this little coin has some surprising secrets. So, let's set the stage and take a look at what makes this particular penny one to keep an eye out for. The 1987 penny, like most modern-day pennies, features the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the front. On the back, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, a design that has been part of U.S. currency for many years. At first glance, it's easy to assume that the 1987 penny is just like any other penny in circulation. After all, it was part of a long series of coins minted throughout the 1980s. But here's the twist: while most of these pennies are relatively common and not worth much more than their face value, there's a catch. Certain 1987 pennies, particularly those with certain characteristics, can fetch a premium price among collectors. The main factor that makes the 1987 penny special is its rarity in pristine condition. While most of these pennies were used in everyday transactions and have been worn down over the years, the ones that have survived in mint condition are few and far between. And that's what collectors are always on the lookout for. Coins that have been carefully stored and protected from the wear and tear of daily life are considered high-grade coins, and they can command serious value, but there's more to the story. Some 1987 pennies have been discovered to have rare minting errors. These errors, such as double strikes, off-center impressions, or die cracks, make these coins even more valuable to collectors. Errors like these are extremely hard to come by, which is exactly why they are so highly sought after. A simple minting mistake can turn an otherwise ordinary penny into a prized piece of history. Now, you might be wondering just how much a 1987 penny can actually be worth. Well, if you happen to have one of these coins in near-perfect condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a coin worth a staggering $60,000, that's right, $60,000 for a single penny. It's truly mind-blowing to think that a coin that you could easily overlook could be worth that much, but that's the exciting world of coin collecting. The value of these pennies is all about rarity, condition, and sometimes, a little bit of luck when it comes to minting errors. So, if you have any 1987 pennies lying around, now is the time to take a closer look. Don't just toss them aside, check their condition, look for any unique features, and keep your eyes peeled for those rare minting errors. You might just have a small fortune in your hands. Top 8. We're diving into the world of the 1979 United States 1-cent coin, a penny you may have overlooked, but trust me, this coin is far from ordinary. So stick around, because we're about to reveal how this humble penny could be worth a lot more than you ever imagined. At first glance, the 1979 penny might look like just another Lincoln cent, featuring the classic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. It's a design that's been part of U.S. currency for decades. But the 1979 penny is not your typical cent, and if you know what to look for, this coin could be a hidden gem in your collection. Here's the thing, most of the 1979 pennies you come across are fairly common. They were produced in large numbers and circulated widely throughout the country. But just because a coin is common doesn't mean it doesn't have value. What makes the 1979 penny stand out is its age and its rarity in certain conditions. Coins that have been well preserved or are in mint condition are always more valuable, and this penny is no exception. Now, let's talk about the key factor that makes this penny worth a small fortune. The 1979 penny was minted at a time when the U.S. Mint was transitioning in its coin production, which means that there are subtle variations between the pennies from this year. Some 1979 pennies were struck with what's known as a wide AM reverse, which is a rare minting error. This means that the letters A and M in America on the reverse side of the coin are spaced farther apart than usual. This small mistake makes these particular coins incredibly valuable to collectors who specialize in errors. Finding a 1979 penny with the wide AM error is a real treasure for collectors, and if you happen to have one, you're holding something very special. While most of the 1979 pennies are standard and not worth much more than face value, the ones with the wide AM are extremely rare. The error is so hard to find, which is why it drives the price up for these particular coins. But it's not just the error that makes this penny valuable. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value too. If you have a 1979 wide AM penny that is in uncirculated or near mint condition, you're holding on to something that could be worth a significant amount of money. The fewer scratches, dings, and signs of wear, the more desirable the coin is to collectors, and that's what increases its value. The combination of the rarity of the wide AM error and the coin's pristine condition makes this 1979 penny a true collector's item. So, here it is, the moment you've been waiting for. If you have a 1979 penny with the wide AM error in excellent condition, it could be worth up to $90,000, that's right, $90,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe that something so small and seemingly insignificant could be worth that much, but that's the power of rare coins. The right minting error, combined with the right condition, can make a huge difference in the value of a coin. If you've got a collection of old pennies, or if you found some change from the 1970s, now is the perfect time to check them out closely. A 1979 wide AM penny could be sitting in your collection right now, waiting to be discovered. Don't miss out on the chance to turn a small coin into a major windfall. Top 9. We're talking about a coin that might be sitting in your change jar or hidden in a drawer right now, a coin you probably never thought twice about. Today, we're going to unlock the mystery of the 1974 United States 1-cent coin, and why this penny could be worth a small fortune. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. The 1974 penny is part of the well-known Lincoln Cent series, featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the classic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. At first glance, it might seem like just another penny from the 1970s, right? But here's the thing, sometimes, the most ordinary coins hold the biggest secrets. This 1974 penny might look like just another coin in your pocket change, but there's much more to it than meets the eye. What sets the 1974 penny apart from the rest? Well, like many other coins in the world of numismatics, it's all about rarity, condition, and sometimes, errors. Most of the 1974 pennies were mass-produced and circulated widely, meaning they don't hold much value today, but certain key factors can make this coin worth far more than its original face value. Let's talk about one of the most exciting reasons why a 1974 penny might be worth a lot more than you think: minting errors. The US Mint occasionally makes mistakes during the production process, and some of these errors can make a coin far rarer, and more valuable, than others. The 1974 penny is no exception. One of the most sought-after varieties is the 1974 double-die penny. This error occurs when the coin's design is struck multiple times, resulting in doubled images on the coin. The most noticeable feature of the 1974 double-die penny is the doubling on the lettering and the date, which is visible to the naked eye if you know what to look for. These coins are extremely rare and highly collectible, which means their value can skyrocket in the right condition. But it doesn't end there. Even if the penny isn't a double die, the condition still plays a massive role in how much it's worth. A 1974 penny that's in mint condition, free from scratches, discoloration, or wear and tear, is going to fetch a significantly higher price than one that's been tossed around in a jar or spent in daily transactions. Collectors are always searching for high-grade coins because they're harder to come by, and a perfectly preserved coin can make a huge difference in its market value. So, how much could a 1974 penny actually be worth? Well, here's the exciting part. If you have a 1974 penny in mint condition or one with a rare minting error, such as the double die, you could be holding a coin worth up to $95,000, yes, you heard that right, $95,000 for a single penny. It's truly incredible how much value a coin from 1974 can have, but that's the thrill of coin collecting. A small mistake during minting, or a perfectly preserved coin, can turn an ordinary penny into an extraordinary find. So, if you have any 1974 pennies lying around in your collection or buried deep in a jar of loose change, now is the time to take a closer look. You could be holding onto a hidden treasure, and all it takes is a careful inspection to see if that penny has the potential to change your life. If you're lucky enough to find one of these rare, valuable pennies, you could be looking at a payday that most people only dream about. Top 10, and this last video is definitely for you. We're about to explore a hidden gem in the world of coins, the 1994 United States 1-cent coin. Now, you might think, a penny from the 90s. That's not worth much, but trust me, you'll be amazed at what we're about to uncover. Let's start by taking a quick look at the 1994 penny. Like most modern-day pennies, it features the classic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and on the reverse, you'll find the iconic Lincoln Memorial. It's a design that's been a staple in U.S. coinage for decades, and while it might seem like any other penny you've seen before, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. So, what makes the 1994 penny so special, and why should you pay attention to it? While most 1994 pennies aren't rare or valuable by themselves, what really makes this coin stand out is its condition and the potential for certain rare varieties. As with most coins, the value of the 1994 penny comes down to its rarity and condition. Most pennies from this year were circulated widely and have seen some wear and tear over the years. But what happens when you find one that's in uncirculated or near perfect condition? Well, that's where things start to get interesting. A penny that looks like it just came off the minting press, shiny and free of marks, is much more valuable than one that's been tossed around in change for years, but it doesn't stop there. Like many other coins, the 1994 penny has some rare minting errors that can make it worth significantly more. Minting errors are a fascinating part of coin collecting, and they can transform an otherwise ordinary penny into something incredibly valuable. For example, some 1994 pennies have been found with minor defects like double strikes, where the design is stamped multiple times during production. This creates a doubled image on the coin, which can be seen on the date or the lettering. Other errors might include off-center strikes or die cracks. These small imperfections make the coin stand out and become highly sought after by collectors who specialize in minting errors. Now, you might be wondering, how much could a 1994 penny be worth if you find one in perfect condition or with a minting error? Well, here's the exciting part: if you have one of these rare, high-quality pennies, it could be worth as much as $59,000. Yes, you heard that right, $59,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe that something so small could hold so much value, but that's the amazing world of coin collecting. When it comes to rare coins, the right condition, the right era, and the right rarity can really make a difference to us. So, if you have any 1994 pennies lying around, don't just toss them aside. Take a moment to inspect them carefully. Look for those minting errors or check for one that's in pristine condition. It might just be your lucky day. You could be holding onto a coin that's worth a small fortune. Thanks for tuning in to today's video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the value of rare coins, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on future discoveries. We've got so many more exciting finds coming your way. Until next time, happy collecting, and remember, sometimes the smallest coins hold the greatest value.